The BMW XM is a new vehicle that will go into production at the end of 2022 and be available in showrooms in early 2023. It's said to be the most expensive BMW ever made. Let's see why. For that, be with us till the end of the video. A prototype for the production version of BMW's concept XM has been spotted once more, confirming that the two cars will look quite similar. The XM is a new flagship SUV that is closely connected to the X7 with the same wheelbase, and the XM is the first dedicated BMW M model since the M1 debuted more than 4 decades ago. The XM will be released later this year to commemorate BMW M's 50th anniversary, which means it'll be available in 2023. Let's take a closer look at the new BMW XM's design now that it's here, at least in concept form, because it's vital to discuss. The XM is the first car nearly fully designed by the M division. You might imagine that because it was the first M automobile. The BMW M1 was the first M-designed car, but its design was actually outsourced to Giugiaro. As a result, the XM is the only car ever designed by M division. A bold first impression from the front end. Let's start with the front end because that's what the fans are most interested in. Despite being designed by a separate division than normal, BMW's fondness for massive grilles was evident on the XM. The XM, like most other new BMWs, gets a massive grille that rivals that of the 7 Series and X7. Despite its massive size, the XM's grille is significantly more coherent and is better integrated into the front end, demonstrating that our criticisms of the 7 Series, 4 Series, and XM grilles were based on design rather than size. The XM is also lit, which might or might not make it to production. That isn't to say that the XM's front end is without flaws. While the headlights aren't as polarizing as some fans had feared, they are far too small for the grille. Their diminutive size throws the entire front end into disarray. The strange upside-down triangular headlights are presumably only a concept, and they'll be changed with better-looking, more production-ready lights later on. Back behind the windscreen, on either side of the hood, there are 2 fascinating scoops. These scoops may or may not make it to production, but their location is intriguing. They don't appear to be functional that far back, therefore they appear to be ornamental, but even then, they're in an odd location. While the air intakes in the lower front bumper appear to be typical BMW, with angular lines and vertical vents, they're massive. There's a strange faux diffuser-looking piece of plastic beneath them. I'm not sure if that helps with airflow, but it doesn't appear to. Unique silhouette. BMW describes the XM concept as an SUV coupe, which is exactly how the company refers to its X6 and X4. The XM, on the other hand, has a more typical SUV tailgate and a less sharply raked roofline than other automobiles. It has a more sporty appearance than the conventional SUV, although it isn't as coupe-like as the X6. If I'm being honest, that's a good thing. There's a lot to talk about, apart from just being different. Let's start with the horizontal black trim that runs the length of the shoulder line and separates the top and bottom halves of the car. It begins at the base of the C-pillar and ends abruptly ahead of the front fender, dividing the car into 2 pieces. A 2-tone paint job helps to further distinguish the car's 2 sections in its concept form. The upper half is painted in matte bronze gold, while the lower portion is painted in space gray metallic. It's unknown whether the final production car will have 2-tone paint, shoulder line trim, or both. The wheel arches are sharp and manly, as if they were drawn with a ruler alone. Looking down the side of the car, all of the lines are incredibly crisp and straight, giving off a cold, angular vibe that lacks passion. The lack of rondelle wheel center caps is another rare design feature for any BMW. Rondelles have been on BMW center caps since the beginning of time. The XM concept, on the other hand, has BMW in place of the typical blue and white centers, which is unsettling at first. The geometry behind the BMW letters contains a trace of the rondelle, but it's minor and imperceptible from any distance. Like no other BIM or butt, BMW M experimented with several novel and intriguing design ideas at the back. To begin, the rear roof spoiler has 2 humps on either side, which are mirrored in the back window. 2 BMW rondelles are engraved into the glass on the rear window beneath each of the humps as a tribute to the original BMW M1. It's good because it harkens back to automobiles like the aforementioned M1, the BMW 2002, and the 3.0 CSL. Moving down, we find razor-thin taillights that have an L shape akin to the X6's but reach almost to the rear bumper. Vertical rear reflectors also appear to extend those taillights past the bodywork, making them appear even longer. The exhaust pipe design, on the other hand, is a major focus point of the rear end. M Division models have all had quad exhaust pipes, two side-by-side pipes on either side of the rear bumper since cars like the E46 BMW M3 and E39 BMW M5. The BMW XM retains quad exhaust, however they are installed in an unusual way. They're not just vertically stacked instead of side-by-side, but they're also trapezoidal and opposite each other like a flipped image. It's the most distinctive exhaust design of any M car ever, and it'll undoubtedly surprise BMW fans. Now let's get in the inside. In an interview with BMW CEO Frank Van Meel, he said the interior is half cockpit and half lounge, similar to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The cabin for the front passengers is sporty but of high quality. The three-spoke steering wheel is athletic and encased in that aged leather, and the screens lean toward the driver just like old BMWs. With substantial bolsters and fixed headrests, the chairs appear to be extremely comfy and supportive. However, if you sit in the back seat, you could easily mistake it for a different vehicle. The back seats get a quirky blue velvet with a recurring embroidered diamond pattern instead of the gorgeous vintage-looking leather. Look up, and the three-dimensional geometric headliner creates a lounge-like atmosphere in the back seat, which is enhanced by the XM's ambient lighting. The back seats are designed to be opulent and beautiful in contrast to the front seats, which are athletic and enveloping. Strong hybrid power. The plug-in hybrid system combines a lithium-ion battery pack with BMW's new 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8 engine, which also will be used in the 2023 7 Series. BMW hasn't revealed the size of the battery pack, but it should be substantial enough to provide a driving range of roughly 30 miles on the EPA's test cycle, so expect something under 20 kilowatt-hours. The XM will have a combined output of around 750 horsepower and 737 pound-feet of torque, making it the most powerful BMW road car to date. The electric motor of the XM is placed between the engine and the transmission, thus it does not power a single axle. That means the xDrive all-wheel drive system may deliver up to 100% of total power to the rear axle, which can then be shuffled side to side as needed by an automatic limited slip differential. Driving comfort. In conventional driving mode, the XM operates in hybrid mode, relying on electric motors when possible and firing up the gas engine when necessary. The engine starts and shuts off smoothly, especially when braking, and the engine turns off before coming to a halt. The XM offers the standard M-Drive modes, which allows you to alter the powertrain, suspension, and steering settings. The XM also has a brake-by-wire technology, which allows you to change the force of the brake pedal as well as the intensity of the regenerative braking. Of all, this is only the XM concept, not the ultimate production vehicle. However, we've been told that it's extremely close to the final product. To put it another way, expect the final BMW XM to look a lot like this idea, for better or worse. With that being said, let's wind down this video. Do let us know your expectations in the comment below. Also, do subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos.
To change your